I got a birthday coming up really soon. I'm gonna be 59 years old, and I realize, like maybe many of you, that I've had opportunities in life to change, and I've kind of sabotaged myself on some of those opportunities because of certain kind of specific things that I think are universal when people try to make changes and they kind of get tripped up in the process. So I want to talk to you about 6 things that I think can help overcome some of those challenges and hopefully help to keep you from sabotaging the efforts that you are making towards lasting change in your life. Number 1, I would like you to make an actual plan to change whatever that process is, or change whatever that thing is. If you actually write it down and set some goals and do this in a way where you can kind of go back and review it, it solidifies in your mind that change is coming and that you are going to do the steps and take care of the things that would get in the way of you having success when it comes to change. So actually thinking through and writing down a specific plan and what your goal is and how you're going to get there, that can be a very powerful tool in overcoming success that could be, just out of reach because you haven't set down the specifics to follow through on them. I want you to, number 2, pick something that you are very interested in changing. If everyone around you is saying, I think you need to change yourself and lose 10 pounds, but that's not important to you, and you don't feel like you really need to lose 10 pounds, that's going to get lost in the shuffle. And maybe you want to learn how to play the harmonica, and that is really important to you. You identifying the thing that is very important to you so that you have the motivation to stick it out when it becomes challenging to work on change is a very important aspect of not sabotaging your efforts in making change. Number 3, I want you to keep it small and manageable. I've talked about this on almost every single video. If you try to change too much all at once, it becomes overwhelming. It overwhelms your thought processes, it overwhelms your energy level, and it overwhelms your motivation. So what I like to do when I work with clients and those that I lead is I try to keep the changes small because change can be overwhelming. And if you do a lot of change all at once, it can really tax your system and make it difficult to maintain motivation. So remember, small things that are manageable. If my goal, which it is to get healthier, then I need to focus on maybe one aspect of better health that I can really solidify and make some inroads at creating a habit of. So what I mean by that is maybe I want to focus on exercise and making sure that I get out there a couple of days a week more than I'm doing right now, and that I do that for several weeks or even months consistently. And once it's a habit, then perhaps I turn my attention to my eating and amending that if I need to, or whatever else you feel goes into good health. That's one way of looking at it, one way of keeping the process small so that you can have a greater likelihood of success. I would like you, number 4, to think about potential obstacles that can come up when you're trying to make changes in your life. There's going to be obstacles. There might be times when you're tired, the weather's bad, somebody doesn't want to listen to you practice, somebody might poo-poo your efforts on being kinder to your children. You've got to think through those situations and about how you're going to respond to them before they happen, Because if you get in the heat of the moment and it seems too difficult, it's very easy to set aside the effort that we're making towards change and just not do it anymore. So my hope is that you will, in that plan process, you will think about the obstacles that could come up, and you'll talk through those with yourself to determine how can you overcome those in a way that maintains motivation, takes care of yourself, and keeps you on track to get those habits in place and make those lasting changes. What's going to motivate you to do these changes, right? What's going to be the things that will remind you to get out there and exercise, or remind you not to buy the sweet treat, or remind you not to drink so much? You're going to have to set reinforcers so that the progress that you make, you can give yourself a pat on the back, so to speak, and you can continue going even when it's difficult. Reinforcers are different for everybody, right? For some, it might be seeing the weight come off when they step on the scale. For others, it may be putting on a shirt and it fits better. For some, it might be the way they look in the mirror. Reinforcers can be different for everybody, but please set some reinforcers for yourself, because we need them as humans. We operate better when we get positive feedback on the efforts that we're making. So I would encourage you to, as you do your plan of change, set some reinforcers. Finally, I'm going to talk about number 6, and I think this is important, that you find support or help from mentors, family, others who are going through the process of change, to kind of bear you up when you're feeling like you don't want to do it, or who can help motivate you if you're feeling like your level of motivation is lower. Perfect example would be joining a running or walking club who walks by your house every day and knocks on your door and pulls you out and says, come on, let's go, let's get this done. Or maybe a mentor that you have, or a family member that's supportive, who, doesn't browbeat you about the change, but they talk to you in a way that is encouraging, and they notice the progress in your change, and they give you positive feedback. And when you're struggling, you can go to them and tell them you're struggling, and they will be positive and supportive and kind of help you talk through that. I've made a lot of attempts at change in my nearly 59 years. Some I have done better at than others. I'm just like everybody else. Nobody is perfect in this process. But as I've looked at myself and the many people I've helped in change, the people who are more systematic about this process and they use kind of these principles that I've talked about, they've been more successful in coming to lasting change that becomes more of a habit of the thing that they want to implement for themselves, whether that's in their thoughts or whether that's in their behaviors. So something to think about in how to stop sabotaging your efforts at change. Please subscribe, please like. Thank you for listening, and I wish you good luck on your journey of change. Take care.